What's up, everybody in Chiefs Kingdom? One hell of a game. You're here with Chiefs Focus, First and 10. Caleb, JP. We got Brandon on. We got Charles on. And we're some happy mother jammers. How you guys doing?
Couldn't be better.
We're awesome right now. Like Chris Jones after his press conference on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm amped up.
I'm happy too, man, JP. That probably has to be the best game I've ever witnessed in my life.
Definitely.
I'm not going to – that game was phenomenal. 13 seconds. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my God. I mean, the Tyreek play – well, you know, what got me, I think, and I was going to ask you guys about this. I was really surprised that McDermott decided to punt the ball on 4th and a half yard to go. That was weird to me because he's always went, he's got the quarterback that can definitely get through a half yard. And I'm thinking, okay, what the hell's his plan? What's he thinking about here? I mean, you're going to punt the ball back to Mahomes with 6 minutes left in the game and let him do his thing? Or it was maybe less than 6 minutes. And he could have easily gotten that first down. I'm sorry, but he could have. 70-30 shot, he would have got it. But they punted. And I'm like, okay, good. You give the ball back to Mahomes, there's something wrong with you, but that's okay. But Tyreek's touchdown was phenomenal. That was everybody played out of their shoes tonight. Everybody did.
I kept seeing on Twitter, man, he's fast. Did they forget who the cheetah was?
Yeah.
You don't get the cheetah nickname for no reason.
Damn.
It's like, oh my gosh, he's so fast. He's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get flagged for the peace sign.
Yeah.
Running down there like this. But I mean,
get fined.
Well, after getting fined for the pom-poms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I saw that and I was like, he's going to get fined, but it doesn't matter. That it's worth it. That was worth it.
The best thing is that his Cheetah Foundation has a thing up that says raise $12,345 to cover Cheetah's fine, and then we're going to go ahead and donate that as well. So if they raise another $12,000, he's going to take another $12,000 out of his pocket, double it, and stick it into his foundation, and still pay in the NFL their $12,000. So,
and I think I saw he told Mahomes that he had a way better touchdown celebration plan, but they had to chop it off so they didn't get any 15-yard penalties. Yeah. I would have loved to see what he had cooked up, though.
Oh, dude.
Oh, for sure, man.
Everything
he always has the best.
Laugh. He does. He makes me laugh, man. Just everything he does is funny. He's a funny ass dude. His crazy ass dances and the stuff he comes up with, he's just funny. And he's always happy.
My favorite was the camera.
Yeah, the camera was the best. The camera
that one was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was great. But he's just a happy guy. Win or lose, he's happy. He's not always in a bad mood. He's not pissed off. He's not, he's I think he's just happy to be where he's at. And that's the mark of a great person, to be able to be happy with your situation. He's blessed to be able to do what he does and be the best at what he does. And if anyone wants to say he's not the most dangerous wide receiver in football, you're smoking the black tar, because that man,
I want what you're on if you're thinking that.
Exactly. Because that man is absolutely the most dangerous wide receiver in football. Travis Kelce, another phenomenal game. Pringle.
Just want to toss a stat line out there.
Please.
Today he had 11 receptions, 13 targets, $150 and a touchdown. That's pretty special. Tyreek,
man.
Hold on, say that again, Brandon.
11 receptions. He was targeted 13 times, so only 2 passes that were incomplete, and then just 150 and a touchdown. That's insane.
150. Make that money fly. Charles,
oh my God.
Hey, man, you've been quiet, brother. How you feel? How you feel about the game, Charles? You've been quiet, man. I know you've been probably going to be riding like crazy, but I think you're tired.
Well, when I was heading home from my in-laws' house, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to write about, because there's so much, to unpack from this game.
Yeah.
Oh, you could give me a month and I couldn't put out enough about this game. I mean, there is so much to unpack from this game. I think, I don't know, Kelce and Tyreek, you get into a pinch of a situation, and it's the same thing over and over and over again. Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, like clockwork. Death taxes in those three, especially in the playoffs. I mean, it's unbelievable, guys. Like what we're witnessing, what we saw tonight, what we saw in the Thursday night game against the Chargers, what we saw in last postseason, the postseason before. It's never been done this way before, and I don't know.
Probably never will be.
We're lucky to be along for this ride.
I know, man. We've waited so many years, especially JP. You waited more than all of us combined. But seriously, that was awesome.
Yeah. You know what I was doing tonight, man? I'm not kidding you. I'm laying there, and my throat's killing me because I've been yelling. And I shouldn't have been yelling anyway because I've had a jacked up throat this whole time with this COVID bullshit. But I was sitting there on that last drive before we went into overtime. Actually, twice I did it. One time he actually answered my prayers. And the second time, I think he thought, you know what? Let him play it out. I was sitting there talking to DT. And I said, bro, get this defense to just put one stop up, please. All I want is one stop. I want this win. And there was one stop that I swear as soon as I said it, we stuffed somebody in the backfield. I think it was like a 4th and 15. By the time it was when we sacked Allen for like a 8-yard loss or something. It ended up being 4th and 15. But it's crazy. I'm sitting there and I'm wearing his hat that he gave me, from Alabama, the first one he ever got in Alabama. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, come on, D, I know you're there. I know you want this team to do it. You wanted them to do it before. And I swear he came through, man. But that was probably, I'm going to give this to Josh Allen. I am. He's a great quarterback.
Yeah, you have to.
He's got that dog mentality. I love it.
He really does.
Yeah.
He really
that was about who had the ball last, boys.
It was. It really was.
If he would have gotten it in overtime, we'd probably be talking about a different outcome.
Probably,
I guarantee it. I mean, honestly, with the absence of Tyrann Mathieu, that did make a huge difference. And that's when people sit there and they want to say Tyrann hasn't done this or that.
Nah, he needs to be paid.
He needs to be paid.
100%.
This game shows it.
It proved it.
Our defense did step up, though, I will say, without him. They got some key stops, and while they did get burned in some areas, they kept that game close enough and kept us in it. And they're a huge reason we won.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he is the catalyst of that defensive secondary for sure. I like the fact that Chris Jones and Melvin Ingram got into it a little bit on the sidelines because that just fired both of them up. We need that.
Yeah. Especially with Tyrann out, where he serves that purpose so much for the defense, just being that fire.
Yeah.
Like those two kind of getting in each other's ass was good.
Yeah. And then you notice right after that, Melvin came out and I think he got a sack or it may have been a sack or a pressure. I don't know. I was just mesmerized by this entire game. I knew it was going to be a dogfight. I didn't expect to see this. I don't think anybody ever expected to see this.
I knew the game was tough.
No.
4 points by Bucker. He left off the board and we were about to lose. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, Bucker. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. That's 4
ultimate
points.
Redemption story,
4 points.
Ultimate redemption story, though.
I know, though, but I was like, bro,
wrong, Charles.
He was hooking them so far left. It was like, bro, what are you doing?
Hey, man,
his kickoffs were terrible. I thought.
I know. I was like, bro, you need to get J-Tobe. Sorry, go ahead, Charles. I'm too hamped up.
No, you're good. I'm trying to keep you
deservedly so. Deservedly so. Those kicks that once they got in the wind, they were just like floppy back and forth. I was like,
guys, he looked like me on the golf course, and that's bad. Like he did not look good to start the game. But then you need him the most, and what do you know?
Here's the thing, Charles.
What a redemption story.
I listened to Nick Lowry, and a lot. I think it was it Lynn Elliott? Was he one of our? Was it Lynn Elliott? There was another kicker we had. But when I listened to those guys talk and I looked at their feet after they kicked and practiced so many times, the top of their foot is not only swelled out by 2 or 3 inches, but it's black and blue. And he could have just been sore. They did say
100%
that he did have leg soreness prior to the game. I do know that. So I am not going to complain because he's the second best kicker in the NFL. He's just
he lined it up. Then they must have shot his foot up or something.
Yeah,
bro. I'm telling you, how do you miss? We would have won the game. It would have been so different. Those 4 points. But you know what? I got to witness a great game.
It would have been 9 coming down to that last drive, and it really wouldn't have even mattered because we could have just pounded the ball. I mean, it made for like a masterpiece. Like that, they could make that into a movie.
They could. They could
I'm
actually.
probably gonna watch that game again this week.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
but it should have been that close.
I'll 22 that about 9 times. I mean, honest to God, I've watched every one of our games this year probably 8 times. I rewatched the 2020 Buffalo Chiefs game, playoff game, right prior to finishing off the early game when the Bucks and the my brain's fried when the Bucks lost, the Bucks and the Rams, and I was watching that 2020 game, and I was seeing little things that we did in that game that were mistakes. And I was thinking, okay, there's a mistake where, Sorensen was supposed to be lined up in the middle. He was lined up basically 3 yards off to the right, and it was exploited. There was a couple other plays where, our defensive line wasn't exactly, they weren't spread correctly. I'll put it that way. And I think Charles would probably know what I'm talking about. Spread between each other correctly. And when the ball snapped, yes, exactly. And I noticed that there was a few other little things that I had noticed in that game. And I thought, looking at that, I can see us now with our defense that we have, that being cleaned up. And one of them, and by the way, the one thing that I noticed is a consistency. We've been talking about this, is freaking Juan Thornhill. Juan Thornhill was in that game in 2020, and he made every bit of the difference. If you can imagine Juan Thornhill along with Willie Gay during that game, oh my God.
And to raise you, JP, we finally got to see Armani Watts and Dorian O'Daniel take the field.
Yes. Dorian was in there. I was like,
thank you.
Yeah, Dorian was in the first quarter.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the
first drive.
First drive he was in, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The frustrating thing was like Thorn, they should have had a spy most of the game. And the Allen was able to just do his thing, and you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. You're going to struggle. Know what?
Where was the spy at for the Bills? Because Mahomes ran for one.
Mahomes may look silly.
He's always 1% faster than whoever's chasing after him. And that might be the fastest I've ever seen him run today. That big run, he got like 30 yards on.
Yeah.
I've never seen him run faster.
Yeah.
Especially after last year with the toe.
He just decides how hard he wants to try when he's running. He's like, okay, better kick it up a notch.
Well, and I think the thing too is that he has that JJ Burden thing. And JJ and I have talked about this for like 30 years. JJ has it's like an aura around him. And I've told him this numerous times. His helmets, he's got blinders on, especially the older helmets. They couldn't see very well. But he could sense when someone was near him. If they were behind him, if they were over here, wherever it was, if they were out of his line of sight, he could feel them. And he knew when to go down. He knew when to make a cut. Mahomes has that ability. He has that same sixth sense in him where he can feel someone coming up on him because you can't hear it. I can promise you that. When you're on that field and the crowd's screaming because you're running down the field, you don't hear someone coming up on you. You feel it. You feel that shit.
It's an extra instinct they have because all you can hear is your breathing, your pads like moving around, and the crowd. That's all you can hear.
And sometimes in your headset, you can hear your coach say, "Run, run," And usually if it's Bieniemy,
Yeah.
he never stops fucking talking. Bieniemy can't stop. That motherfucker talks in his sleep. So there's no possibility anybody could sit there and go, okay, well, if Patrick Mahomes is trying to do something, Bieniemy's not in his ear. I'm sure Andy's probably told Bieniemy numerous times, hey, man, shut the hell up and let the man play the game, because you're fucking with his psyche. He can't hear anybody else because you're talking shit. But unbelievable game. Unbelievable the way they played. Hats off to everybody on our football team that stepped up and played their asses off.
Everybody contributed.
McCall Hardman, bro.
McCall.
Yeah, big game.
Yeah.
Big game. McKinnon again.
McKinnon
again.
He stepped up. Oh,
and even
my
CEH.
God. CEH.
Bro, he had 8.6 yards a carry.
That's scary.
He was gashing them. He looks fast as ever tonight, I thought, too.
Noah Gray had a big-ass great catch on third down.
Yeah,
and 2 for 14. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And his little ass was throwing some blocks, too.
The thing that pissed me off the most, the thing that pissed me off the most in the whole game, two things that pissed me off the most in the whole game. One, we wasted that Tyreek punt return because we hand the ball off the middle to McKinnon twice and then put the ball on. But the Blake Bell play has worked every single time we've ran it this year.
They knew it was coming. It was like, bro, just check out of it.
McDermott's running down the sideline saying, like, watch the pitch. Like, he knew what was happening.
He's worked with Andy before too, right?
Yeah, but it's been so many years. Look, he worked for Andy in 2009 and part of 2010, and then Andy fired him. So
he did. Well, then why did he say he's one of the coaching tree?
Because he worked for Andy, but Andy did fire him. So McDermott probably has a little bit of a, I guess maybe a little
axe to grind.
Yeah, a little axe to grind.
Well, it's gonna have to wait.
0-2 in the playoffs. I mean,
0-2. 0-2.
Against Andy, I mean.
0-2.
I mean,
what do they call? What do they call the trophy for the Week 5 Super Bowl? What's that one called?
It's called sitting at home.
That's called sitting your ass at home and drinking, getting drunk and crying to your mommy.
Smoking that Nick Wright pack. If you saw his
there you
video.
go.
Nick Wright.
It
is so
He's
nice.
On one tonight. He's on.
It is so nice to have him in the media because we never have nobody that's on our side. No one's on our side.
I think he's literally shit-faced walking around his neighborhood smoking Black and Mild, just talking very loudly about the Chiefs.
I saw a 20-second clip of him just with it in his mouth, and he's just like laughing.
Just laughing, yeah.
Like this
is like an 8-minute and 50-second video he put out. It's pretty good.
And people are asking on Twitter if he's okay. He's like, "Oh, I'm doing more than okay."
Oh yeah, he seemed like he was.
And you always hear people say that he's like a closet Chiefs hater, and I don't believe that.
He's not.
He's not. No,
he's
hater.
He's a total homer. He's our white knight in the.
He's our Rob Riggle, man. I mean, he is our Rob Riggle.
Yeah, he is our guy.
Yeah,
I can't stand him. I can't stand him during the basketball playoffs because I am not a LeBron guy.
Yeah,
but football,
he loves LeBron.
Nick Wright, I'll take it all.
Yeah, he loves LeBron, huh?
He does love LeBron. I'm an MJ guy. I'm old school. So Caleb, Brandon, sorry if you guys are LeBron guys.
It's okay. I like LeBron, but that's for another day. Don't worry.
Generational thing. That's an off-season podcast.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm not a huge basketball guy. I don't watch it, like everybody else does. But and now his name just slipped my mind completely. Stephon Curry. I absolutely love that dude. He is probably the best 3-point shooter that's ever played the game, ever. He's
him or Klay Thompson's pretty crazy too.
Yeah, but I'd tell you what, dude, he's 31 years old. He's got another 7 years. Yeah. He's already broken every record there is.
Like Mahomes. I see a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. Mahomes is a generational player. He needs to stop. I'm tired of hearing, Mahomes isn't a top quarterback. Oh, these guys are about. I'm like, look. After that game, you can no, JP. After this game, they cannot say no more. They can't say anything because
they can say it, but
they can say it, but they're wrong. They don't seriously. If you say Mahomes is not that good. This is why, and Brandon and Charles, I don't know if you guys listened to our show at that point. I don't know if you were a part of the group, Charles, before then. But when the Chiefs were on that slump, I told JP on the podcast when we were 3-4, I said, we still have a lot of time left to figure this out.
Yep.
The Chiefs have time. Look. It's like it's
We
like for
weren't
the
tripping.
people who had a bad grade, and it's not like and we were starting the semester, and you're like at a 68, like a 65%. You still have time to get a B or an A. There's still a chance,
Yeah.
but you need to work. I mean, that's kind of what the Chiefs did here. That's what the Chiefs did.
Here's the thing: everybody that was bitching and complaining about how the Chiefs were playing and they weren't going to be this and they weren't going to be that. The team sucks. Mahomes terrible. He's not. Let me quote Jack off there on ESPN. He's broken.
Ryan Clark was talking about after the game too.
Yeah,
Ryan
trying to hear his
Clark,
mouth.
Ryan, guys, this is pretty pertinent to our brand here. Ryan Clark called Mahomes, Jordan, and the Chiefs the '90s Bulls after this game.
Ryan Clark did.
Flip flop alert.
Yeah, he was
Wait,
all
hold
over
on.
ESPN.
We need to
Hold
put
on,
like a
hold on.
siren in the background.
Wait a
on
minute.
that.
You're saying Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark.
Are you
MJ?
sure it's not like some fake Ryan Clark Twitter page?
No, real Clark 25. It literally Mahomes is MJ and the Chiefs are the '90s Bulls.
Whatever. I don't care.
You know what?
JP's dumb.
They were broken about 3
Now
months
I'm
ago.
gonna really troll
Yeah.
that motherfucker because he has done nothing but slam us. Even after we went on our 7-8 game winning streak and we lost to Cincinnati with some bullshit calls. Oh, by the way, I said this once on Spaces, maybe twice. I'll say it again right now. That referee in that Cincinnati game has been suspended. They found out he was a closet Cincinnati fan, and also they are investigating for other things, which I have a feeling is betting. But
Oh,
that's
one surprise.
that's something that I'll find out later on. But
Well, guess
regardless,
what? We're still hosting the AFC Championship game.
Hey,
that game
that-
doesn't even matter.
yeah.
If anything, it gives us that mentality to go in and
and
Whip that
I mean-
ass. Whip that ass.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's whipping that ass.
JP, you are too happy.
I'm way too happy. Whip that ass.
Well, you had a rough week. You have had a rough week, my
I
friend.
have had a rough week, man. It's the best I've felt all damn week.
Well, my question to you guys is there anything the Chiefs need to figure out and change before they play against the Bengals coming up, the AFC Championship game? Because I already have a feeling Mahomes like, yeah, we won this, but we need to push ahead. What do you guys think needs to happen? Is Spags part of the problem as well? Does he need to change some stuff around?
I don't think Spags is a problem. I think he just needs to. The only problem Spags has is that he needs to let the players that are good on his football team play the game, and that's exactly what he did tonight. He did it before Matthew was hurt, and he did it after Matthew was hurt. If he allows these guys to rotate in and out and get off that depth chart mindset, he will be just fine. He is a 4-time Super Bowl coach. Maybe right now we probably got we were the favorites to win the Super Bowl anyway. I don't know if anybody knew this, but going into we were the favorites at the beginning. Then we fell off we dropped in percentages for about 3 games, but we have been the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. So if we look, I don't see an NFC team, neither one of those NFC teams being able to beat us.
No, I think they're both fraudulent. I think the Rams have got hot the last 2 weeks, but they have way underperformed. And I think we could beat them. That D-line is scary. And then the Niners, come on, Jimmy G.
Come on, man.
I don't trust him. I
The
mean,
guy threw for like 14 yards and won a freaking football game.
it's 75 yards through with like 5 minutes to go yesterday.
Yeah,
That doesn't beat us.
No, hell no. He
It
better have
doesn't.
75 yards every 5 minutes if he wants to beat us. That's that simple. Look, we are a dominant football team, and all the Ryan Clarks and the Skip Baylesses and the Stephen A. Smiths of the world that are now changing their tunes, as Charles just let us know. I don't give a shit if you want to change your tune now. It's too late. Especially you, Ryan Clark. It's too late. You done pissed down the wrong tree.
Once that video goes out, like it's clipped of you saying that, you never live that down.
No,
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
with anything else, but it's like to say that about somebody with
Where's this
his
motherfucker at?
proven track record. I just have a stat I want to go over real quick.
Please do.
So the most career postseason games with a passer rating of 120 or higher, minimum 20 pass attempts. Tom Brady has 5, right? Joe Montana 5. Patrick Mahomes 5 games. he's played in like half the games those other two has, and already has that
a quarter in playoff games, a quarter.
And then I just want to give Josh Allen his flowers. He already has 3 of those such games. I mean, this rivalry is going to be crazy. But the fact that Mahomes is up there with Brady in terms of the passer rating is not everything, but you have to perform super well to even get there. So he's already up there with Brady as far as the performance scale.
Yeah, I saw something. I saw something the other day. It was pretty interesting. I wish I could find the graphic. It was quarterbacks and percentages of their playoff starts that they played with a top 10 defense on the other side, and like Brady's was like 96.7%. He's always
I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw that.
Yeah. And then Mahomes was like 11 point. It was going over, like, it had a list of quarterbacks who had made multiple. I don't know what the threshold was or whatever, but it showed how many starts they had made and what percentage of those starts they had a top 10 defense in. And Brady's was like 96.7. Mahomes was like 11.6.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was before the playoffs started.
Forever, Charles. We have been saying this, dude. I started this show 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I said this. 5 years ago, Caleb and I. 4 years ago, Caleb and I. 3 years ago, Caleb and I. This shit is not. It's not a myth. The man does not look at his. Brandon, can you please do me a favor? Pull up his playoff stats. Pull up. No, Brady. Because I did, and I giggled, but I can't remember him right now. I giggled like a little schoolgirl. But
I did a research paper in college, Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning, and that was one of my main points. And
love Manning
because I was arguing Peyton Manning at the time over Tom Brady.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, Brady always has great defenses. He's not that great of a quarterback. I literally did that for a class in college.
Well, look at the Rams Super Bowl, which I'm kind of happy though. We have a chance to maybe see the Rams versus the Chiefs in a potential Super Bowl.
Oh man,
I mean, it's a different Rams team. It's not Goff, but this. Can you imagine? We've waited 4 years for this.
Yeah,
you guys are going to see
3 years. And
you guys are going to see some. You guys will see some red hot blogs.
Oh,
I'm so ready.
Charles is coming through.
Yeah. Dude, we were watching the Bucks and Rams game before the Chiefs game started at my where I was watching it, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, the Bucks are going to lose." It's like, no, screw the Rams. I hate the Rams. I hate the Rams. I got shit on my whole childhood because I was a Chiefs fan living in South Central Missouri. Don't care. Here we are. Let's go. Bring them on. I would love to see the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. You know why I hate the Rams? Honestly, it has absolutely nothing to do with the St. Louis thing I don't like McVay. I don't like him.
The Wonder Boy, as they call him, I believe.
Yeah. I don't like he's very, very
he thinks he knows everything.
That's number one. He's extremely egotistical. And he's so arrogant. And his voice kind of gets on my nerves. But he's just one of those guys that you listen to him talk and you think, okay, you're like 35 and you really don't know as much as you think you know. There's guys out there that have never played the game, have never coached the game, that probably know more than you do. So I wouldn't talk as much. When you have to go out and buy a Super Bowl appearance through every big name and put yourself in a position that the following year you have to give up almost all of those players, which that's what happened.
He didn't coach any of them up. He just acquired the.
He just brought them in.
Yeah, it's like Thanos. Thanos had all the rings or all the Infinity Stones brought to him, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I mean, Brandon's right.
McVay is Thanos. If we could possibly maybe get a McVay Thanos edit, I wouldn't complain.
Hey,
like Donald has the rings. I'm just saying it's very similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Charles, you might need to update your Horrible Chiefs Takes Volume 3. You mean maybe you start that one?
Oh yeah, yeah. We got to get that going, bro. That because there's a lot of them. I mean, you could probably get
almost get in the group chat with about 3 minutes left in the game. We lost. Yeah. I screenshot it, bro.
Man,
I'm not going to expose his name right now, but I got the screenshot saved.
Will you send that to me?
We lost.
Right
Look,
Because there's
I'm
some
not gonna-
negative
13
ass people on that damn chat.
13 seconds left when they threw a touchdown pass. My text to my group was, "That's devastating." It was. That was. I thought, I mean, who? I don't know. Mahomes can do anything, obviously,
So
and I'll
here's
never
what
doubt him again. But
here's
13
what
seconds.
it said it's over. It's over. Unbelievable. And then the guy goes, "What are you talking about?" And the guy goes, "We lost at 8:27." And the other guy goes, "We got 3 timeouts of Mahomes." I'm shouting you out, Cooper. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
listening right now.
It's Cooper.
Cooper is the one that said we have time. The other guy, I don't know if I want to name drop him.
let's not
Man.
do it.
Nah,
He's already probably feeling bad.
I'm gonna
He
get
was
him right
real
now.
negative.
I'm gonna get him right now.
Oh,
But
big
Cooper, shout out for you
time
for
ups.
having
Big time ups to
Hey,
Cooper.
shout out.
I don't know you, Cooper, but I love you.
Hey man, I'm just being honest though, bro. 13 seconds. They drove. How many plays did they won? Did they won 2 or 3?
2.
2.
2. They ran 2 plays. You hit
Hill, Kelsey.
and then
2
Kelsey, and
2
it was
plays,
like
45 yards.
How do you not guard
was
them?
like,
That's
what?
my thing.
bro. And then,
Kelsey was wide open.
bro,
Kelsey was
that's the thing. When you're looking at this at the end of the day, it's just awesome to see it. It's awesome to see them continue to battle through, because we've seen so many Chiefs losses. And it was like kind of like, dang, we're really about to lose this game. But it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like when Andy literally said that quote, "When this Grim beat the Grim Reaper," I was like, whoa, that
Oh,
I
needs
yeah,
love that.
that needs to be framed.
There you go, Brandon. Take a look at that one. So anyway, yeah, that the end.
Oh no. Cooper was the positive one.
I know, that's why I said thank you for being positive.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. You like that?
That guy needs to stop.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. We got to get Charles in on that group so you can see the stupid shit. Anyway, going back to this game, let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about, again, Charles's realm, the offensive line. That offensive line they were ranked number 2. I know that. Where are they ranked now? Okay.
I haven't seen anything updated since the
I
regular
think Brandon
season.
had seen something, maybe if he had seen, but I know at one point they were ranked number 2 in the league.
I mean, if you just look at their line, they had, I would say, the number 1 center,
yeah,
number 1 left guard,
yeah.
Trey Smith's up there too.
Trey Smith
and
probably
then-
number 2, 3. Yeah,
Orlando was a beast, and then Wiley I'm proud of Wiley this year.
I am
The
too.
guy stepped up. He was on that Super Bowl line. It wasn't all his fault, but
No,
he really stepped up this year.
well, he
And
was
they
the
got
only one on
pressure.
the Super Bowl line. I mean, there was nobody left.
That line was bad, but he came up. I feel like he's played like 10 times better this year.
Yeah. I almost kind of wonder if Brady just kind of threw that game today because he didn't want to play us in the Super Bowl. Because he could have
know about that.
Well, think about something, man. How many times have you ever seen? Okay, look, 21 straight years of Brady not only being offensive to other teams, but being a smartass, saying the things that he says. And this is the first time in 21 years he actually got called out for it.
Got a bloody lip.
Oh, they
showed that for like a half
I made
hour.
a meme of that one. I made a really quick meme on that one. That was kind of, I had to do that. I didn't have a choice.
I don't think Brady lost that game by choice. They got beat up.
Yeah,
They
that
did.
showed
They
that
did. The Rams
when
are
you lose your
physical.
stars,
But
you
the
lose.
Rams also almost gave that game away.
Yeah, you can't do that, and
They've
that's
been
kind of.
They've been doing that the last 3 weeks. Second half, pissing down the leg. I mean,
The Niners got a
they've
real
done.
chance next week.
I
I
think
don't
the
know.
Niners.
They dominated them a couple weeks
not-
ago.
And I said on the podcast, JP, I said the 49ers have a great chance to make it to the NFC Championship game or maybe the Super Bowl, and I was right.
You were.
This team has a great shot, a really, really, really good shot of doing something.
But it's not because,
So-
and as much as I jocked Jimmy G when they signed him, and I it's still out on Twitter, I said he will bring them to a playoff game his first year and a Super Bowl game his second year. And the first year we knocked him out. The second year he went to a Super Bowl and played us. So I do think that he has talent.
He's a winner.
I don't think he has football IQ. I don't think he has as much football IQ as he should for the amount of talent that he actually has, because he has got a good arm. He's kind of brittle. He does get hit, and when he gets injured somewhat easily, but he does have a good arm. He's got great accuracy. I don't know if his football IQ is all there. Like, I'm not saying he's not all there. I'm just saying I don't think his football IQ is at the level that it should be.
We've seen him struggle in many instances where
That's
it's kind
what
of
I
like,
mean.
bro,
Yeah.
you had someone open, but you did that. I mean, like,
Like the pick last night.
Yeah.
He just kind of threw it, but like it was there for a second, and then sometimes you just got to eat that.
Yeah.
And he's somebody I would love to see the Chiefs defense go against.
He's like opposite day Alex Smith is what he is.
He's like, what?
Opposite day Alex Smith.
Yeah. You're right.
He's like you look at this is Alex Smith, this is Jimmy G. They're completely different in every way. But they're the same quarterback essentially. I mean, they'll get you the same place.
Yeah.
They both win. They're not the guys to take you over the hump though.
No.
Yeah. They're that bridge guy.
Yeah. Alex Smith's stats. The one thing I could say about Alex Smith, and I'll always love him for this, is the fact that the man put himself in positions to not only get himself killed at some point, but I specifically remember a game, I think it was 2017, when he was on he had a great year. I mean, it was his best statistical year ever, but he took off running down the left hash mark and he dove about 8-9 yards in the air, and he got obliterated by a linebacker. He spun 3 times in the air like a whirly bird, dude. Landed on his face, held on to the ball, got the first down, got back up, and got back in the huddle. Not too many guys can do that.
It's a gamer mentality.
He's got that. You know, he reminded me of, and I don't know if you guys remember this guy, was Jeff Garcia.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
For the
Jeff
Bucs.
Garcia was one tough
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, he was one tough individual that he wasn't the greatest. Alex was a lot better at time management. Alex really didn't have the arm strength that Jeff had, but he was a lot more accurate. But they both had that tough ass mentality that they will just go out there, put their body on the line, do what they have to do to win. And that's what I always loved about Alex, and the fact that he was so humble and helped Mahomes so much, knowing he was taking his job, knowing why they brought him in. But Jimmy G has the size. He has the attributes to be a good quarterback. I just don't think he has the football IQ. Yeah.
His time's kind of running out too.
It
is.
is.
I know he's going to go to another team and stuff, but like, I think he's near
34. I think
he's 34.
No, 30. I'm sorry. I could be wrong. He sat behind Brady for 3 years. So that would put him at 20.
He's 30.
He is 30. He's 30
I mean, he's going to go to another team next year. Whoever it is, probably going to be in the playoffs. But I just don't see he's not going to be. He's got like one more good chance to make a run. This Niners team is his chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
So I hope we get to knock him off.
Yeah.
I hope
you guys think the Rams could be upset by the 49ers? I mean, that squad is good, that 49ers group. They got some players.
I mean, they walked in there and dominated the Packers, held them to 10 points. The offense wasn't good, though, so I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I've been saying this for a minute now. They're the most talented team in the NFL outside of quarterback.
Who's that?
The Niners. I think they got the best roster in the NFL.
You guys
outside of the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Do you guys think Trey Lance is the future?
I haven't seen enough of him to know, but he kind of looks, I mean,
kind of doubt it, but maybe not.
I kind of wanted them to get Fields. I think he would have been better, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I just think Fields proved more in college and stuff, and watching Lance, him throwing some of those deep balls, it looks like me throwing them out there. They just go up in the wind and they kind of get stuck up there. Like it just doesn't seem like worth it.
It's
like
gonna be,
there's a risk.
It's gonna be tough for him. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him when he does get on the field, though. Because I mean, he's played 3 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had to sit out
one game.
1 year. It was an exhibition.
Yeah, they played 1 game and that was it. Because the FCS, the season was canceled essentially. They did it in the spring, I think, and he was in the draft.
And with how good they are, they're going to expect him to come in and win because he's going to be handed the reins to this roster that's already in the NFC Championship game. So they're gonna,
Yeah.
if he's not as good as Jimmy G, they're gonna be pissed at him. And it's already Bay Area fans. You saw how they are with the Warriors.
Yeah.
They're all over it. I mean, they're up when they're up. Seems like they're pretty down when they're down.
Mm-hmm.
So if he might let the bright lights get to them, and if they're not in the same position next year, Jimmy G's taking them to maybe 2 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Yeah, and you're
in
actually
3 years,
right.
actually.
Yeah, and you're actually right, because when we beat them in the Super Bowl, their fan base is terrible. When we
They were
beat them,
mad.
well, let me tell you, if my football team, win or lose, went to a Super Bowl, okay, I would definitely be one of those people there saying, Kansas City is different, of course, but everybody would be excited that they actually went, and they're pumped up that they went. They showed the 49ers getting off the plane, and there was 4 people standing there, and they were all related. There was no fans, like they're fans, like, okay, they
family.
There was like, father, daughter, sons, so I'm thinking there's 4 people there. And I'm looking at that and I thought there's got to be another area where they're standing. They span the whole damn thing. Ain't nobody else out there. There was one guy cruising around on one of those, baggage
Just an
carts.
airport.
And this is at the airport. And I'm thinking, how are these fans? I know you lost the Super Bowl, but damn, show some respect of some sort. 4 people.
And the 49ers were balling that year. I mean,
You forgot they went right to Warriors basketball.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the Warriors lost, it was A's baseball.
Yep.
One thing into another.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Brad, they took off the jerseys as soon as it ended.
Oh my God.
Man.
The Warrior stuff was on before Damian Williams even scored that last touchdown.
That's man. That's funny. But I did hear that during that during the Super Bowl, the 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl, I heard that there was 49ers fans yanking off their jerseys, and underneath their jerseys were Patrick Mahomes jerseys.
Oh no, come on.
Yeah.
Have you seen the interviews down there? It's like there was Niners fans and like, can you please put this Patrick Mahomes jersey on and say "Go Chiefs"? And they actually did it.
Yeah.
If you told me to put the opposition's jersey on, I'm saying get this off me.
Oh, dude, I carry a
I'm
gun.
ride or die my team.
Dude, they tell me to put on a Raiders jersey. I'm gonna pistol whip you. Ain't nobody gonna get me to do that. It ain't happening.
Nope.
Not gonna happen. There's nothing in my house that says Raiders. My wife had a Raiders hat. Somebody gave her. She don't know where that happened.
Threw that in the trash, knowing you.
No. Oh no, I burned that motherfucker. I
I'm
got
gonna
a
light
fire.
the fire and I'm gonna have some
Leave no
s'mores.
evidence.
I got a fire pit in the backyard. Yeah, man, no, hell no. Their fan base is weird. It's strange to me. I don't know. They're all hyped up right now, but if they go and they lose, another 4, maybe the same 4 people show up. Maybe they're related to Jimmy. I don't know. But
And then when Trey takes over, there's gonna be no people at the airport.
oh
It's just
hell
me.
no, hell no. There won't even be the guys waving the what do they call them? The guys that direct the planes to land. Ain't nobody gonna be in the tower. If they're gonna land, let them do it on their own because they done lost.
Well, JP, I got a question for everyone. So what do you expect what should the Chiefs do in order to win this next game against the Bills? What do they have to do?
Exactly what they
AFC
did
Championship
today.
game.
Exactly what they did today.
Are you sure with the defensive play?
Dude, the defensive play wasn't bad. We're playing
It took a
different
perfect
football.
storm. It
It
took a
did.
perfect storm from
That's
Jamar
true.
Chase and all the penalties and stuff for them to beat us.
Yeah,
We still almost beat them with a literal perfect storm.
exactly.
We damn near got burned by a perfect storm from Gabriel Davis tonight. So I think that we have to be willing to make an adjustment when one guy is crushing us.
Facts.
Because I was having major flashbacks to Jamar Chase at the end of that game. I mean,
Yeah, I think
he was
Gabriel
on
Davis had
fire.
like 8 receptions, 201, and 4 touchdowns. And you think about it, he had 75 on the one, but that's still 7 receptions for a $175.
Yeah,
That's efficient.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did well.
What the hell? I've been like harboring this deep inside me for a second. What the hell? And not trying to go after a player here, but what the hell is Mike Hughes doing on a 4th and 13,
no
letting
clue.
somebody get behind him in the end zone?
I have no clue.
I
thought
don't
the
know.
same thing.
Tripped.
What is
My
that?
only excuse is he tripped, but like it was rough.
Yeah.
But he
Even
been
if he wouldn't have
struggling.
tripped, he was still 8 yards behind him when he fell down.
Yeah, he was burned.
He was burned already. So that you're right. I mean, look,
That was bad.
that was brutal.
That's a cardinal sin. I mean,
Yeah, it was brutal.
And that's one thing I don't understand on Spags. They always make the cornerbacks play 10 yards off. Why are you doing this?
I don't know.
Press or get up a little closer.
Especially because they're getting a full speed. They're full speed by the time the corner even has to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard to just turn it on like that and catch up to somebody already full speed.
Well, yeah, especially when you're a corner
I mean,
anyway, because
like-
90% of the corners aren't as fast as wide receivers anyway. So
And you run it backwards.
and to run backwards. Yeah.
and the guys at stride too. And I mean, he's at least 3-4 inches taller than you.
Yeah.
His legs are going to carry it, even if he's not as fast as you. His strides, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I do want to shout out the defense, though. They held Stephon Diggs to 3 receptions for 7 yards.
That's
is
awesome.
true.
That's awesome.
That's, they got burned in other areas, but let's at least give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and
That's
Dawson Knox 2 catches for 9 yards. I mean,
That's true.
they took away their 2 weapons to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But we
Kinda
let
like what
Gabriel
Bill
Davis
Belichick
almost
does.
kill us.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick
Yeah.
goes in and eliminates your top guys. I would say Spags
Mhm.
went and eliminated their top 2 guys. I didn't expect the Bills wide receiver 4 to
Yeah.
up to a 1
Well,
and
and
Cole
Do
Beasley.
you guys
but
think
like
you guys think Cole Beasley is going to write a country song, a rap song, or both about this loss?
I think
Cole
Cole
Beasley's
Beasley's
just-
drunk. Right now, he's drunk.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I bet he's just dealing with. But I will say this, JP, Charles, and Brandon. When I was creating my draft class, whenever Gabriel Davis was coming out, I did say that she should get him, and I have the list still to this day. If anyone's curious, I
I
have
actually
Gabriel
have that
Davis
list.
down.
I actually
would've
have
been
that
nice.
list. You sent it to me.
He would have been good. I was like, this guy can help us if we can get him.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and he can play. He can play. He had a career game.
Well, we were missing. We had no Fenton.
that's a big loss.
That
We
was a
need
huge
Yeah.
loss
back
right
bad.
now. We had
Fenton
no
and Matthew being out was tough.
Matthew, and then we lost another corner. Who was it?
Ward was down for a little.
Ward was down
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah, he had to
Um,
come in.
So
Or Baker.
Baker.
He came in and did pretty good, I thought.
Baker did a pretty
Yeah,
good
he
job.
didn't do bad.
He didn't do bad. I know why, but it's got to end. This is stupidity. I'm sorry, but it's just dumb. This shit has been squashed a long time ago, and I don't know why they're continually they're going to end up running people out of this organization that need to stay. Juan Thornhill is now, I think, is finally, how should I word this? He's finally just solidified the fact that I don't care with every other coach and player. We don't really care what you think about him, or he doesn't think or care what you think about him. The fact of the matter is he is the best on the team in that position.
He's a starter. He's a
Let's say
starter
he-
behind
he-
Matthew.
He's
He
coming
stepped-
into his own.
Mhm.
He's showing
Yeah.
off.
Well, he was phenomenal his first season. I mean, him and Matthew gel so well together. And we have talked about this so many times. When he's not starting, Matthew plays worse. Willie Gay plays worse.
Mhm.
Everybody plays worse.
Neiman plays worse.
Neiman plays worse.
And he plays better when Sorensen isn't out there.
Exactly.
In my opinion, JP
Yeah.
agrees with me too.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that you would jeopardize not only his return or him not wanting to be here, but jeopardize other players not wanting to be here because of your quote unquote issue you had with him at one point or another. Okay. And it's no different than Baker. Baker was in the doghouse for a very long time, still to this day, still is, for no reason. I mean, they stepped up, they opened up their mouth, they said something that they needed to say. They had every right to do it. And because of one defensive coach that is not going to be here next year. But I'm surprised if it wasn't for Andy, he wouldn't be here right now. But that shit's done and over with. So put your ignorance aside, put your babiness aside, put your ego aside, and realize that these are the guys that are going to get you where you need to be. It's that simple. I know some of their game plan, and I'll let everybody out there know because I've been told this. Their mindset during the regular season and sometimes even in the playoffs is we're going to throw people off with what we do. We're going to let them practice for a Daniel Sorensen for a solid week. And then we're going to put Thornhill in as a starter, and they really don't have an answer for him. I get that to a degree. But when it costs you games and it costs animosity within the group, it's time to move away from that ignorance and just play your game and play the people that belong on the field. Tyrann Mathieu, if he, they waited just like they did with Chris Jones. I have no doubt in my mind that he's getting re-signed or an extension.
Oh, they did. PSB paid all his money. This game showed it. Pay him, move on.
Yeah.
Pay
Week
him,
one showed it too.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? What's that?
Week one showed it too.
Oh,
Yep.
without fail.
And then he came back the next week and had what was it, 2 interceptions, pick 6?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Pick 6 and then another pick in the
it
first
just
quarter.
solidifies that you need him. He helps. I don't think the game. I mean, the Bills were still going to put up points. I don't think they give up that 75-yard touchdown.
No.
Nope.
And I
That wouldn't
also don't
happen.
think they give up the one at the end because
In the middle, right in the middle there.
Yeah,
Yeah. No way that would have happened.
it doesn't happen.
No, not at all.
But the fact that our team battled through those, the old Chiefs wouldn't have battled through those injuries.
No, man.
They
You
would have
are
flopped
right.
earlier in the season. They would have flopped.
Yeah.
Yep.
No
Yeah.
Chris Jones earlier in the year. They kind of they laid down. Willie Gay was on a snap count early in the year. They laid down.
Yeah.
They missed those guys. Willie Gay wasn't even at practice this week for
No.
a day. I mean, and he was still out there.
Yeah.
Nick
They
Bolton was a
battled.
beast.
Yeah. Oh,
They step up.
I wanted to say something about the Willie Gay situation really quick. I did get a little bit of insight in onto that. There was a report that they released the police report of when he was arrested, or well, let me take that back. He had already left the home, but the woman ex is saying that he hit her, which he did not. They found out that she lied. Well, they haven't found out exactly yet, but they know that she was lying. He didn't threaten to hurt her. She said he was throwing things all over the home. That's not true. He broke a vacuum. He wanted to see his kid, and she was basically pulling. I always like to refer to it as pulling a crystal. And it's unfortunate that this happens. But I will say this to everybody out there: watch whether you're a star, not a star, whoever you may be, really know the person that you're going to be involved with or have a kid with. Because when it all boils down to it, you could end up with a crystal. And a lot of guys have. And Willie's one of those guys. So give the man some slack. He's not a criminal. He's not an abuser. He's not all the crap that people have already said about him, especially other fan bases.
Fan bases still go after Tyreek all the time. It's frustrating. If they actually looked into it, number one, it was a long time ago. Number two, we all know it was false.
Dude.
Like, give people chances.
Ask Caleb, man.
Like,
I went over this with people when it happened.
Yeah, no, I've heard
I was
that
so
you've
pissed.
gone into it. It's just ridiculous.
I
that
mean,
people,
and
they hold
JP,
on to that
what you
forever.
said,
Yeah,
and
it
JP,
does.
what you said was right, man. You got to watch who you marry, who you be with, because people becoming crazy.
And Tyreek was just trying to do the right thing. He wanted to be a parent to his kid, and he figured he's one of those guys that feels like he can help others, whether it be through mental issues or whatever their problems may be. He feels like he can be that guy to help. When I learned about it years ago in 2014, and I talked to people, I knew what the situation was. There was no reason to bring it up then because it was done and over with.
Oh yeah, you found out before everyone else.
Well, Brandon put out stats, and some idiot. There's a fan page out there. All he does
called
is
Jackson Mahomes or something. He
calls
was going
himself
after
Jackson Mahomes, and all he does is post 2015 reports of Tyreek Hill.
And the best thing to do is
like
just
3
mute them.
times.
Just
I was like,
mute
what
them.
is-
Just mute them.
Yeah, well, that's just targeted harassment, though. I mean, regardless of how you look at it, it's targeted harassment. It needs to end at some point. I mean, the man has been a model to his kids. He's treated them fantastic in every sense of the word. And people still go after him for it. They want to do that because they want him. I promise you, that was a Bills fan, by the way, that calls himself Jackson Mahomes. But if if the shoe was on the other foot, none of those things would be coming out of their mouths. It's just to try to get into Chiefs fans' heads. And a lot of Chiefs fans will go after it. I've learned to ignore it. I made him look stupid.
The bait.
Brandon kind of made him look stupid. I made him look stupid. So it ended fairly quickly, but for our end of it anyway. But he continued because other people were arguing with him. And some of them, I don't understand why they argued with them, but they did. They're a little larger groups of people. And I'm thinking, you're arguing with some guy that has 6 followers and lives in his mom's basement.
And created this account January 2022.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, come on.
The troll account. That's basically what it is.
All it is a troll account.
This is a troll.
It's probably the 10th account he's had suspended. And he's probably bought new routers to get different IP addresses, using VPNs and everything else so he doesn't get caught by Twitter. I mean, a lot of guys, whatever works to keep them, on because that's their only outlet. They don't, when you look at people like that, you look at them in 2 ways. One, they're either severely mentally unstable, or they have not one friend in the world. And they don't have any other outlet besides Twitter. So you got to almost just ignore it to a degree. I get tired of it. I know there was a guy going after Randy Mahomes, calling her every name in the book. I mean, things that I'm not going to repeat on this show because I'm a guy that will throw out a cuss word, pretty quickly, but I'm not going to say the things that he said. He is now banned from Twitter permanently. Unless he goes out and buys a new router.
Yeah, you got to be respectful to everyone.
Yeah. Regardless of what you think.
Especially QB1's mom. Don't even pull that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's sad. I think he was a Bucks fan, Patriots, or a Bucks fan and a Brady fan.
He about to watch the playoffs like everybody else from the couch.
Yeah, sitting on the couch eating ice cream. So, but Brandon, throw out some stats for everybody on this game tonight because.
Okay, so typically after the games, I like to do some players of the games.
Yes.
After the games. So I'm going to go through just a few. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes, the obvious choice. 33 of 44, 378 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a 75% completion percentage.
Pretty good.
He was cooking.
Yeah.
And he had like 265 with like a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then proceeded to throw over 100 more.
Yeah. 177, I think is what it was, right?
He added, I believe, about 111 or 12.
111. Oh, that was in regulation time, right?
Yeah, he had 265 through midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he added 7 on the ground for 69 yards and a touchdown, 9.9 yards a carry.
God.
That's player 1. We're going to go to the defensive side of the ball right now. I'm giving it to Jaron Reed tonight.
Okay.
Jaron Reed balled out. 3 tackles, 3 assists, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss.
And that gave somebody a concussion. Sorry, had to throw that out there.
And that did hurt, but I would say Jaron's been a little underwhelming this year. I thought Jaron went out and balled out. And then Frank Clark's not going to show up on the stat line. I feel like he was living everywhere tonight.
He was pressuring.
Yeah.
He had
the only
a
complaint I had is his
edge.
angles. His angles, if he had cut Allen off, he went up the field instead of over. If he goes over, we stop Allen on that 4th down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's player 2. Player 3, you know him, you love him, Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
11
Yes,
receptions,
sir.
$150 a touchdown.
Woo.
And then we got to toss his counterpart, Travis Kelce, 8 for 96 and a touchdown.
Pretty good.
And big time receptions. I just I mean, really, the whole team deserves a game ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every,
How many players is that?
That was 4.
Oh, that was.
I'll
4
raise
right
you one. One player I think you forgot to list, Brandon.
there.
Nick
I know who it
Bolton.
is. Yeah, Nick Bolton.
Nick
he
Bolton.
dominated.
All
Yes.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll raise you 5. 182 rushing yards, 6.7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns on the ground, offensive line, unbelievable.
Yes.
Woo-hoo, yeah,
Yeah.
Charles is right.
Yeah.
And can we shout out the team as a whole? Typically, the Chiefs and every teams are very heavily penalized. They killed it with
Killed
the
it.
penalties tonight.
Phenomenal.
There was few, and I just hats
There's
off
only
to the
3,
team.
wasn't there?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think there was only 3.
And I mean, and they weren't big ones. They were like 5-yard penalties.
Yeah.
Buffalo had 3 for 15. We had 1 for 10.
1
Even better.
for 10 yards, and that was a
And we are
holding call,
typically a
right?
heavily penalized team.
Yeah, I think that was that holding call, wasn't it? That 1 for 10. Was that holding
I
call?
think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, on Wiley. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a hold, really, when you look back at it.
Mm-mm.
It is just so hard to
He was
just
on an
looking at
island.
it to get like player of the weeks.
Not
Just
Hardman
because he had 1 reception for 26 yards and he had 2 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown. 15.5 average on the run. I mean, everybody just did their part. We're just fully operational. Clyde. I loved what I saw out of Clyde. 8.6 yards a carry.
Mhm.
I mean, just
on
in
the
his
number 1
return,
defense.
and that reception he had was nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I loved seeing that. I wish we would do more of that with him. It was 1 for 9 yards. That's why we drafted him.
Yeah.
Hold on, who
We-
was
we-
this?
Clyde.
Clyde, he had that one.
Oh,
reception.
yeah. Clyde
It's
proved in this
beautiful.
game we can't count him out. He's a part of the
He's
1-2 combo.
explosive.
1, 2, 3, 4 combo, actually.
Well, yeah, he's part of the running back by committee. I'll just put it that way. I still don't know if I would put him ahead of McKinnon at this point.
Maybe not for the stretch run, but looking
Yeah.
for the future, I'm still putting Clyde ahead because McKinnon's had that injury history.
Yeah.
And
he
like,
can only be reimbursed. He
so
can't
has
do a bunch
Clyde,
of stuff.
though.
Yeah, Clyde's
So
had
he's
a lot
got
of
an
injuries
injury
himself. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
the
think
best
Darrell
version.
Williams. What's
Yeah,
that?
the best version of it is when we can just hit the hot hand at any of them. I mean,
Yeah.
any of them
Yeah.
can have big games.
Exactly.
Like we've had this same conversation about all 4 guys this year. Like,
Yeah.
That's a
You're
good problem to
right.
have.
Yeah.
It is a good problem. I mean, really, when you look at our running back room, everybody can say that, you don't have like that big name guy, but all the big name guys out there haven't done shit all year. I mean, look at Zeke. I mean, look
Right.
at, all these guys that they paid, Zeke, what, $90 million contract. Why?
Well, look at Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
He
Todd
got a
Gurley.
Yeah,
big
and then
extension, and then he got the tendonitis.
yeah, they break
Yes.
down. They break down. If you try to have just one, they break down, man. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
you
that's
got to have a committee.
Christian
or a group.
McCaffrey.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
abused
He's about
him
to
early
break
on.
down.
I think King Henry's a little different, but at the same time, they abuse him down there.
Oh, they do abuse him.
He was on pace for like 2,000 yards again. I didn't think he looked terrible yesterday. He had some good runs, but I didn't feel like he
look
looked
the same.
yesterday.
No, he didn't.
Especially in the first half.
Yeah. He definitely looked either rusty or nervous. One of the two.
But having the
They would-
4 that can do everything is, you just have guys, you're going getting like Clyde, 8.5 a carry on average.
Well, Darrell Williams did that
He
too,
was
though.
running
He
like
was
a
running-
madman.
Mhm.
Darrell was
Yeah.
an 8.4 carry during his.
Yeah, Daryl looked great against the Steelers. We were talking about Derek Gore the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time around.
Yeah.
I love Derek Gore. I
I
remember
do
putting out
too.
his stats during the preseason. I'm like, this dude's legit.
Yeah.
Bro, JP and I were
Yeah.
saying that either he's going to make the practice squad and he's going to help this team in the future. I didn't expect him to jump that early.
Yeah.
I like
JP and I
Fountain,
were
too.
claiming for him to get a chance to try to make it through.
And I don't know if Darrell, you're looking at talking about injuries. I don't know. And I don't remember in the last 4 years, Darrell having any major injuries besides this toe thing.
I think he had a shoulder injury
He did have one.
at some point. Was it last year?
I can't remember, man.
Who was this?
Darrell Williams.
Darrell
I could've
Williams.
swore he had like
he-
a collarbone injury or a shoulder or something.
He might have actually had one. I know the year previously the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. He had a hamstring and the Chiefs put him on IR.
I think he had some kind of collarbone. He got bumped around the 15-yard line at home, and he hurt his collarbone or shoulder.
Was that him or
That's
Damien?
probably right then, I think.
It was him.
It was him? Okay.
Let me look it up.
I couldn't remember.
Collarbone.
I've got his injury history right here. Well, I don't know. This is from Draft Shark, so this is not the most recent, I don't think.
Or Clyde wasn't a collarbone. I think it was a shoulder.
Yeah. Looks like Daryl had like a hamstring in 19, ankle in 20, knee strain in 21, but that's in camp. 22, concussion in camp. And then they've got his toe sprain on here from the Broncos game.
Yeah,
Maybe I got it just mixed up. I could have sworn he had to end his year 1 year.
He might have had one, Brandon. I think you're right. He might have had one, but I can't remember.
I can't either. I just know that he's always, when he's on the field, he's producing, and he's great out of the backfield. He's a great wide receiver. I mean, the guy goes up and gets the ball.
He was on You Got Mossed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's probably got himself a T-shirt in that locker room.
Yep. Guarantee it.
Along with Jody.
Yeah.
And L'Jarius Sneed is in the final four of the You Got Mossed bracket. We shall find out next Sunday.
Hey, that's awesome.
Nice.
We should win it.
It's nice. And just think about this, guys. Just think about one thing. Guess who's coming back next year? Somebody Brandon just mentioned. That was a star. Jody Fortson.
I love Jody. I love me some Jody.
Me too. That guy, I mean, when he got injured, I think Brandon had actually put the stats out, but I think he was like at a 148% catch rate, which is freaking absurd. I mean,
it is.
He's a very large individual, but
I drafted him in fantasy football in a league.
What's that?
I drafted him with the last pick in my fantasy football league.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah. He's going to come back next year, and that's just going to make us that much better. And I think, honestly, if he wouldn't have gotten injured, man, the run we could have had with that man on the field. Ooh. Oh, Lord.
And Noah Gray's starting to come into his own a little. Mm-hmm. 2 catches in a big-time playoff game. That one at the ground was nice.
That was a great catch. That was a great catch. The one thing go ahead, Caleb.
Go ahead. Oh, and that's why you draft. And you have your number 1, but you need quality number 2s, number 3s, and number 4s.
Yeah.
And when Jordan comes back, they can mix them all in and out. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what they need.
Yeah. You know, Noah, for a little guy, I say little guy, he's little for a tight end. He will put himself out there for a block too. He doesn't care. I mean, he will block. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I got to love everything Beach has done, man. I mean, he's really brought us into a situation that I don't know if we could ever ask for more.
He brought the Belldozer back.
Yeah.
After he went to Dallas, and now he's that play tonight was something else, but he's become our QB sneak quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's worked every other time. I don't know why we didn't run it tonight. But
maybe he figured they were expecting it or something, or maybe they were going to use it for next week, or maybe in the Super Bowl. You know, you just got to pick and choose.
Giving it to my $500 million quarterback.
Yeah.
That's just me. I would put it in Mahomes' hands and let if I could go back to if I was calling the play, I would have ran that one where Tyreek just goes out in the flat and they just hit him and he drops. That play's worked like almost every time we've run it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they might have caught onto it, but that just after that return, that was a killer. We just got that great return.
Yeah.
And that's what we get. Like
you can't run that to that side. There wasn't enough room.
Well,
yeah, you're right. If they were going to run, at least go to the other side where you have, because they were on the right hash.
Yeah. But that tells you Tyreek is such an all-around player. The guy hasn't returned a punt in 2 years?
I think it was that Texans game where he fumbled it.
When was
that?
So
he redeemed himself. That was the 2019 playoff runs, like 2020 January-ish.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, he's just an all-around player. And I know that people respect him when he's back there on a return because he's scary.
I wouldn't have punted the ball to him. I would have rather kicked it out of bounds.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, he's got that he reminds me so much of Dante Hall back there. I don't think there'll ever be another Dante Hall, but as far as his moves were concerned, I'll never forget the game that he embarrassed Denver. I laughed for an hour and a half. I just laughed. I couldn't help but laugh.
Move like that.
Oh God, I wish I could move like anybody right now. I mean,
you don't think if Tyreek did that full time his whole career, we wouldn't think he was better than Dante?
Oh, I think he probably could have been. Yeah, I do. Yeah, because his cuts and his and there was one stat that I remember from Tyreek about, I don't know if it was 2018. I think it was 2018. They clocked him, and he had caught a short screen pass, and he had two defenders in front of him. He had ran 13 yards, was at 17 miles an hour, came to a dead stop, broke the cut, and then the next 20 yards he was doing 22 miles an hour.
Crazy.
That was the most insane thing I'd ever seen.
That's crazy.
He's just unbelievably fast. His cuts, and it's not just the fact that he has speed, because McCall Hardman's fast. Pringle's fast. It's the way he moves. His cuts are ridiculous.
He accelerates on the cut. He's the only guy I've ever seen that's able to do that.
Yeah.
As he's midair cutting, he gets faster. That shouldn't even be possible, but it's clearly what happens.
Yeah.
So it's just fact at this point.
Yeah.
It is.
It's absolutely fact. I mean, well,
I wonder what other fans think of when they just see him do that. We're so used to it.
He's a wife beater. That's what they think. He hit his kid. That's what they think. Honestly, I mean, when you really think about it, and one part of their mind, that's what they're saying, and the other part of their mind is saying, "I wish to God he played for us."
Twitter was ablaze tonight. We're like, Tyreek Hill's so fast. He's so fast. It's 2022.
Yeah,
the dude's been in the league for 6 or 7 years. You haven't
came in 15. So 15 was his first season with the Chiefs. So
were you guys? I hadn't seen the Bills. I've watched them, but I never realized Micah Hyde returns the punts.
I didn't know that.
Surprise you
I
guys
didn't know that either.
Yeah, all pro safety. That surprises me, because you don't want to have him get hurt. That's why Tyreek doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
but to see him back there, I was like,
games.
What's that?
I'd be afraid to have him do it the rest of the year.
What'd you say, Caleb?
Oh, I'm just saying, when you need a big time play, you put Tyreek back out there.
Yeah,
he'll do it for you.
Yeah. I was actually surprised as well, Brandon, because it's strange to see. But then again, we heard and we saw it this year with the Raiders. They had Deshaun Jackson returning punts at 36 years old. So if you're going to have, to me, I think it's idiotic, especially a guy that's kind of injury prone, and he is 36, to have him returning punts. But, what, I can't think of that guy's name, D'Estagio or whatever. When they asked him about it, he said, yeah, he'll probably return some punts. And I said, wow, what the hell is he talking about? Why would he ever consider that? But then he did. He had him return. I think he returned 3 punts this year for the Raiders. So I don't know where he's going to end up next year. I assume he wants to play another year. I don't know why he wouldn't, but and I'm hoping it's not the Raiders. I mean, he deserves better than that. But he's another one that really sneaky fast for his age. I mean, I don't know what he runs right now, but I bet he's still in that 4.3 range.
He was electric in his prime.
Oh man, was he fast. But I mean, again, nobody else. Somebody sent me a message tonight. Was that you, Charles, that said you just couldn't stand Tony Romo anymore?
I can't stand Tony Romo. He get on my nerves.
He was cracking me up. I think the thing that I like about Tony Romo is he just gets he's like a puppy dog during games like this. He just gets so excited and he can't hide it. I kind of like.
He's probably I wish I could do what these quarterbacks are doing.
Oh, guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Well, he jinxed Butker on that first field goal. So
yep.
Yeah, he did.
Man.
One thing about Romo is it's weird. He's very good at calling out plays before they happen.
On one of the Kelsey ones. He's like, they're gonna find Kelsey here. And then they found Kelsey.
And it was like, if they're gonna get Kelsey over the middle, boom, Kelsey over the middle. He's done that ever since he's been announcing. The one thing that I noticed about him is he's kind of one of those closet, or I guess not really a closet Mahomes hater, but he jumps back and forth so much between bragging about him and
he loves him and then he hates him.
Then he hates him.
Or doesn't hate, but dislikes some of the
things. He was ready for the next best thing. It kind of seems like that when we play those guys, the next greatest things, the Herberts, the Burrows, he's all over them.
Yeah,
it'll probably be the same thing next Sunday because I believe we have the CBS crew at 2.
Yeah,
he's gonna.
We play a 2:00 game. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I like that.
He's gonna be all over. He's gonna be like, and look at Burrow this, while Mahomes is no looking.
I do this on the reg, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part that I don't get. Is it? I get talking up a player and I get all that, but give credit where credit's due, and when it really boils down to it, the credit is Mahomes. He started this revolution of quarterbacks. When you really, really think about it, guys in college are working day and night to try to mimic what he does. Guys that have come out of college since 17 have tried to mimic what he does.
Teams are trying to draft like him too. Like, I don't think a team a couple years ago wouldn't have necessarily taken, like we talked about, like a Trey Lance with the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
I think he would have gone maybe another way, but they're seeing that he has such a high upside that you have to draft them up there.
Yeah.
Because all the teams passed on Mahomes did.
Everybody did.
But if you took if in that draft, the Bears take the high upside Mahomes instead of your safe pick and Trubisky. Same thing with the year before with Goff and Wentz.
Yeah.
They're not as game changers as like a Mahomes, but Mahomes was on the risky side because he might flame out. And you go back, Mariota and Winston, they're good, but they didn't have as high of an upside.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Now teams are taking those high upside guys early on, trying to replicate, hoping to catch a drip of what the Chiefs have.
Hey, by the way, did anyone notice the sidearm pass that Mahomes threw?
Was that to Tyreek? That was a dot.
I believe that was to Tyreek. I've said this so many times. I'm sure people are sick of hearing it, but I watched Mahomes throw a ball one time and it curved around the DBs, a complete line of DBs in a practice at Arrowhead. And I thought, okay, he threw a curve ball with a football. That's pretty insane. And I'm a former pitcher and it's hard to throw a curveball. I'm left-handed though, so it's even harder. But then I watched that pass, and when they replayed it, the ball, when it came out of his hand, it came out at one level, it dropped a little, and then it came back up. And I don't think I've ever seen that with a football where you can actually almost throw a slider. And he can do that.
And I think it has to do with like the angle. He throws like that throw looked like a double play turn.
It
was a shortstop, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, you should not be able to throw a football that way.
No.
Not with a perfect spiral, hit him right in the numbers. Like, that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, off your back foot and, off completely off balance, and just doing the things he does it's phenomenal to watch. I mean, I know Allen was sitting on the other sidelines going, damn, I wish I could do that. As good as he is, he's probably still wishing he can still do the things that Mahomes does.
And Josh Allen realized he has to go back to live in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think they're having a massive snowstorm right now, so that even sucks even worse for him. But I heard the weather was great in Kansas City. It was like 40 degrees or something. Is that true or not?
It was a nice day, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a nice day.
That's awesome. I mean,
I got a question for you guys. So This week was pretty hot on Twitter, and this is not the last time we're going to see these guys again. But I know we had last year, and that was kind of like an introductory, like, hey, we're playing each other in the playoffs again. It was high stakes, but this year felt like it was really kind of a crescendo with the playoff game between the Bills and the Chiefs, to where the two fan bases really kind of clashed on social media. I kind of want to get your guys' takes on that, some of the good stuff you saw, some of the bad stuff you saw, and how quickly does this turn into like a division rival type rivalry because I think it's on the cusp of that, right? And we're going to see him again next year in the regular season.
And the
We'll
year
probably
after,
see him again
too.
next year in the
Yeah,
the
the year
playoffs.
after that.
I mean, it's gonna. We're in for a ride here, so just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Just the two markets, two teams, two fan bases, kind of going at each other for the next few years.
The fan
I truly
bases are
believe
crazy.
we have the
Go
next
ahead.
Mahomes. We have truly have the next Manning Brady matchup. I think we have Mahomes and Allen's the next thing, and we're gonna be going back and forth for years.
Yeah,
From
I
what I've
agree.
seen, we're only gonna get stronger, and they're only gonna try to get stronger too. So
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of what I'm
absolutely
saying
agree
from
with you. And as far as the fan base is concerned, I mean, the Buffalo fan bases, they are what they are. One of them said they wanted to punch Mahomes' baby.
Yeah, that was
that.
uncalled for. That
That
was
was,
uncalled for.
there was things that people were saying. Then another person echoed it, which I think is a pervert. He had a picture of a very young Asian girl as his bio, and then his name is Jerry.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
then
that 100%.
yeah,
Kind of guy that hangs out at Funky Town by himself.
exactly. So either he's trying to buy an Asian girl, or he really wishes he had one that was half his age. She looked to be about 14, maybe 15. I don't know. But it did look like it was almost like a sex trafficking girl on his bio picture. So I'm thinking, God, this guy's a freak. But then in one of his posts, because I was kind of like, I like to look through their bios sometimes to see the things that they post. And one of his posts was, why can't I ever get a date?
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Why does it?
Saw
Why
your
does it?
Twitter profile.
Yeah, because you
Bro,
have
we ain't trying to-
you have a 14-year-old Asian girl as your Twitter profile. That's probably the reason why. I mean, I guess everybody has their fetishes to a degree. I mean, I don't really have anything like that, but if somebody wants to, it's very. They have a very strange fan base. They're very, very they're mean to a degree of not just trashing a quarterback or trashing, they want to kill your family. They want to send death threats. They want to punch your baby in the face. They want to
they were talking crazy all week.
They really were.
They were talking crazy all week long.
Yeah,
I heard they were
man.
bringing
now
sweet potatoes in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
don't
was
know.
like
I've
the
been-
good luck charm.
Yeah, it was kind of like weird. And so then they
Okay.
told Chiefs fans to bring turnips in, and my timeline was Chiefs fans with turnips inside Arrowhead.
Yeah, I
Bills
didn't even know what
fans
that
see
meant.
that.
at first. I saw it and I didn't know what it meant. I was kind of
I would
thrown off
have-
by that.
I would have to think it would take a very special type of character to willingly live in Western New York.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
definitely.
going while that's snow. I'm staying here in Kansas City.
Well, I think it's more mentality than snow or not snow. That you got to be a special individual to live over there.
Yeah. It's like being from
It moves
Philadelphia.
fast. It moves fast in New York.
Well,
Mhm.
people are weird.
I will say, I thought one thing that I kind of got to take in yesterday was we went down to like Union Station, kind of just took in the atmosphere of a playoff weekend in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I mean, naturally there were a ton of Bills fans out. They've actually, and I don't know how this kind of goes about with an away team, but they've like the last 2 years, they've kind of taken Taps on Main. It's a bar like right by Tom's.
Yeah, I know where
Story.
it is. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
they've kind of taken that over. Like that's like the Bills bar. There was like a merch table outside. It was flooded with Bills people. There are people like driving by honking like boo or whatever. But at Union Station around downtown, there were a lot of fans kind of mixing and mingling. And everything I saw was very good natured, kind of like, fun, like having the enemy that close. Like, I don't know. I thought it was good in-person interactions. Social media is a completely different animal. That was
it always is.
savage.
Bolden.
Everybody's tough as hell behind a keyboard. So.
Oh, absolutely. I did think the
Keyboard
charity
warriors.
thing I tagged you guys in earlier this week was pretty cool. Like the I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not, but the losing team would pay, like in this case, the Bills would pay $15 a piece to Mahomes' charity. And if the Chiefs would have lost, people would have paid $17 a piece to Allen's charity. I think, stuff like that can come out of sports is awesome. I mean, that's great. Sports are the only thing that can
that's
happen
awesome.
type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell them to send that money that way.
Yeah.
Send that money, 15 a person.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Help
Venmo,
Mahomes'
Cash
charity.
App, PayPal, take it all.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, they got
Yeah.
Venmo. I mean, he'll do whatever he's got to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree with you. It was it and a lot of those fans that you may see in Kansas City that are Bills fans, they may actually live in Kansas City.
Yeah, there's a
Doesn't
lot.
necessarily
Quite
mean,
possible.
they flew in, for that game. I'm sure there are people that did, but I think that if there would have been any of the lunatics at Arrowhead, from what we had seen on Twitter, by the time second quarter came, they'd have been drunk and you'd already heard about 3 or 4 fights. So it's weird. I mean, that whole area, whether it's Philadelphia or it's Buffalo, they have a hard time keeping players to a degree, especially Philadelphia. There's teams that want to
all Philly sports.
Yeah, man. I mean, they don't want to be there because of the fan base. So it's why Carson Wentz left. It wasn't because he was pushed out. He left because he hated the fan base. They made him feel like he wanted to jump off a bridge. So it's sad. Now we were getting that way for a little while. I mean, we did our best to keep everybody at bay on our page, but man, people were getting crazy there for a while.
Yeah, they were. I'm like, hello there. You can't be that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well,
I do have a question though for you guys.
Sure.
So do we count this? So they say like a rivalry, both teams have to win. And I get the Bills won the Week 5 matchup. But if we're 2-0 against them in the playoff, is it officially a rivalry yet? I don't think it can be, because we've won. Are we 4-1 against them?
Yeah.
Overall, with the 2 wins, 2 of those wins coming in the playoff on the biggest stages.
Yeah.
And he's come up short against Mahomes twice.
Yeah.
So a rivalry is would be more 3-2.
Yeah, 3-3.
Not whatever it is now. It's hard to. If you
I
come up
think
short in the playoffs, I don't know. It's a rivalry.
It's not one now, but I think it'll turn into one eventually. It's kind of like how they did with the Ravens. They tried to make that the Mahomes Jackson a rivalry thing for a while, but
they still only beat us once. That's what I'm saying. But with the Bills, it was a regular season matchup. Now that we beat them twice in the playoffs, we've sent him back home twice in the biggest games of Allen's career.
Yeah,
he's lost to us. Is that a rivalry?
No,
it's the same thing with like Mahomes or Manning and Brady. Brady whooped up on Manning the first few years of the matchup, if I recall.
Yeah,
and then Manning kind of evened up. But that was a rivalry. But the Chiefs have 0-2 in the playoffs is not. I don't know.
No, it's not a rivalry to me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I still think it is, because the intensity that's gonna be coming to these games, it's a considered rivalry.
I agree.
Because they still came and punched us in our mouth.
After a game like that, boys, if it's not a rivalry, I don't know what it is. That was both teams gave their absolute best on that.
Yeah.
But I gotta say,
they don't like each other.
Quarterback wise, I think more than anything, they gave it their best. When you really look at it, the quarterbacks really, if you're looking at a rivalry, I guess it would be those 2 guys more than it is the teams at this point, because we definitely have, everybody said that they had better weapons than we do. And then that all got flipped around and said that we had all the weapons, when in reality, all we really had, when you want to consider elite at this level right now, was Tyreek and Kelsey.
What's next for the Bills then? Because last year their
defensive help.
But their D line was the big issue last year, so they went and addressed that. But they already got these top tier safeties. Once Trey White comes back, they got him. But they got the quarterback, they've got the running back. They're going to go. They've got their targets. Where do you go next if you can't beat us in the playoffs?
Coaching.
I just don't know what they address.
It'd have to be coaching. If you've got all the tools and you've got everybody out there that is able to do what they're supposed to do, and it also could be, football IQ as well. I don't think, and I said this prior, I don't think Allen has the football IQ that Mahomes has. So if you're really going to break it down, if you even 2 teams up with quarterback weapons, statistically they're about the same. You would almost have to go to coaching and say, there's a problem with coaching somewhere, because if we're not getting it done, but we have these weapons and we've got a guy that can really win, then there's a breakdown somewhere, and it's got to be within the coaching staff.
The roster's just already. I like their roster. I feel like they got some good linebackers. They got some fine corners, good safeties. I just don't know where else they. Like you said, coaching. I just don't know if that's if they lose to us, we beat them next year in the playoffs. Do you think they make a coaching change, or
they may make one this year? You just don't know. I mean,
I guess they're losing their coordinators potentially to head coaching jobs.
Well, all 4 of them.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. They have 4 coaches that are up for head coaching jobs right now.
And one of the GMs, the special assistant guy, is the Giants GM now too. So it's gonna be different up there. I like Leslie Frazier.
Yeah.
I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I think so too.
They could probably improve up front a little bit on offense. I mean, Allen got away from a lot, and he can get away from a lot, but he can't do that forever.
Exactly.
They're going to have to protect him at some point. They could be better on the offensive line.
Yeah.
The running's great, but I think at some point he's gonna. I mean, he's huge, but what if he has to turn it down a little so he doesn't get hurt?
Yeah.
Lamar's running starting to catch up with him.
Yeah.
And
so run all the time.
I mean, when does he dial that back?
Well, I mean, you don't want to turn into Cam Newton, and not that he's the same player as Cam Newton, but to say Cam Newton is just to say that body type can get banged up to a point where you're ineffective.
Exactly.
You can be as big as you want. Even Derrick Henry's hurt. Got hurt this year. He's not typically hurt, but you're not invincible just because. And if you're taking hits from linebackers and D line, it's not like you're getting tackled by corners who are smaller.
Exactly.
Right.
You're getting hit by the big guys.
Eventually
Eventually that's going to catch up. So you got to tone that down.
I mean, Caleb and I talked about this so much about Lamar Jackson that one day a DB is going to grab him or put him down, and when they do, it's going to be a bad injury because he just doesn't know when to stop. He won't slide. He'd rather take the hit and try to maneuver around the hit. And at some point, somebody's going to catch him off guard, and it's going to happen. And he got injured this year. Just happened. I think it was in the end zone, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he get injured in the end zone, dropping back, and so maybe somebody?
He hurt his back doing a flip in our game.
Well, that was stupid.
Yeah.
But his ankle injury, injury was because of a hit. So, it's going to catch up to him. I mean, all the quarterbacks, the running quarterbacks that have lived their game off of running, Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, Cam Newton, all these guys have done great their first 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden it just takes one good hit, and then that running game is over. And if you don't have the other skills, you're screwed. I mean,
you think that changes his game up?
Oh yeah,
because right now the threat of him running is just terrifying.
Yeah, it's gonna.
You just never know what he's gonna do. I mean, how much you think that makes him? If he's a pure pocket passer, you think he can be just as effective?
No.
I mean, throwing on the run, obviously, and stuff, but you eliminate the dual threat. How effective do you think he is?
He's going to lose a lot of effectiveness because he's going to be predictable. Then people are going to know that he's not going to be running the ball, and he's going to be passing it, or he's going to be handing it off. So it's just going to be a matter of his accuracy and his football IQ, and whether he's able to complete those passes. That's the great thing about Mahomes. If he has to take off and run, he will. But his football IQ is so high, and his abilities are so astronomically gifted that he's able to make plays that no one else can make, whether he's rolling out of the pocket or he's, whatever the case may be. And people don't know. It's weird when he's rolling, DBs stop a lot. They don't actually hit him right off the bat. A lot of guys will just go straight for you and hit you because they don't know what he's going to do. Mahomes, you may go after him and try to hit him. And if he's still behind the line of scrimmage and you do that, and he just sidearms the ball to somebody left-handed and you hit him, that's a 15-yard penalty on you for roughing the passer. And
should be.
It should be. And he just completed a 40-yard pass downfield, falling down, or laying horizontal or whatever you want to call it. So he's just a different breed, man. I mean, he just really is. He's a different cat. But I think it will change the way Josh Allen plays the game eventually. He's a big guy.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see too, because we've watched it this year with Mahomes, and last year, the year before that, the deep shots. They said tonight Josh Allen led the league this year in passes of 25 yards or more. Well, I mean, The 3 years before this, that was Pat Mahomes.
Exactly.
But defenses figured that out, and defenses are going to zero in and figure out Josh Allen. It's going to be all about, can he adapt like Patrick Mahomes did?
Exactly.
Can he adapt to a underneath shorter passing game, death by 1,000 paper cuts type approach that we had to go to this year?
Exactly.
This is the lowest yards per reception for Tyreek in a season. Still had 110 catches, but
111.
111,
yeah.
Mahomes still had 4,500 passing yards or whatever it was, 37 touchdowns. I mean, things are going to defenses in the NFL are so smart. They're going to figure out the offenses. That's why offensive football changes and ebbs and flows, because the defenses figure it out, and then you got to go do something different.
Exactly.
So, I mean, can he do something different? I don't know. Does he need to? Not right now, but he will.
Yeah.
The craziest thing is that Mahomes' down year was Allen's career year.
Exactly.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just did the comparison the other day.
Yeah.
Mahomes was better in almost every category besides rushing yards, which that's not Mahomes' thing.
No.
But he was better, and they're like, Allen, MVP type of candidate. This is his best year. He did all that. Mahomes was broken and all that, and he still had better numbers.
Yeah.
He had less interceptions too.
Yeah.
Against a way tougher schedule.
Oh, way tougher.
I think the Bills had the easiest. They're playing the Jets twice, the Dolphins twice.
Yeah.
The Dolphins aren't slouch, but
in the last 5 weeks they beat the Saints, the Jets twice, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Patriots.
Yeah, the quarterbacks they beat the last 10 weeks was Mac Jones 3 times, Zach Wilson twice, Simeon, or no, they beat Book. Maybe Drew Lock.
They only beat Mac Jones twice.
Yeah. They lost the one. Okay.
Yeah.
But they played him the last 10 weeks. They played him 3 times. They played Book or Wilson twice. Tua. They played
Cam Newton, and Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just okay. The number one defense. It's very deceptive.
Just go back to the New England Patriots for the last 21 years prior to 2000 or 18 years prior to 2019. That'll give you an example of exactly what he gets to play with for the next until these teams build themselves back up again. That's what you're going to see.
For some of them, they've been trying a long time.
Yeah, I mean Miami, and they fired the coach that was bringing them there. The Jets,
phenomenal coach.
Yeah, the Jets will probably never get there. They just got a shitty organization, but
New York football in general, they've got the least amount of wins between both teams.
Oh yeah, but you watch next year. Watch New England next year. Watch them next year. And by the way, everybody that was bragging about this is the last I'll say because probably ought to wrap this one up. But everybody that's bragging about that win over New England, they were playing their third and fourth string cornerbacks, second string, third string safeties. I mean, 2/3 of their defense, their starting defense was out. So that kind of shows you that, it was a phantom slaughter. I mean, if you want to put it that way. The first loss was it was like a baseball game, if I remember right. I think it was 9-6 or something stupid. But their defense, New England's defense held them to 6 points, if I'm not mistaken. So
did Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
The Urban Meyer led Jaguars, might I add.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Worst, probably one of the worst head coaching stints I've seen in a long time. But anyway, this has been an awesome day and an awesome show. And I know it's late. Definitely, it's 10 o'clock here, so it's 12 o'clock there. I just want to say what a great game. What a phenomenal win. We're off to the AFC Championship game for the fourth straight year.
Hosting it, too.
And hosting it. We couldn't ask for more right now.
Yeah, so, man.
That's just, it's a lifelong dream for me, that's for sure.
It's crazy how the cards have fallen our way in the 4 years. Twice that the number one seed lose to even give us a chance to host it, because the 2 years we could have gone on the road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you just imagine what okay, think forward and look at the notch in Mahomes' belt. We go in and we beat Cincinnati next week. We go to the Super Bowl and we win. A wild card, second team, 4 straight playoff games, and we win.
I think this is the first year. It was either in 25 years or like ever that a team with a bye was not going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in general.
Yeah.
This shows you better than a bye, Nick Wright. Thank you.
Yep.
Better than a bye.
Exactly. So,
Yep.
but with
Buys
that
was
being
flat.
said, yeah, man. But anyway, with that being said, if anybody's got anything else, spit it out. If not, we will wrap this one up, and we will we'll talk to everybody on Thursday, and we'll try to do a couple of spaces, or at least one between now and Thursday, because I know we had one going before the show, and everybody was on there and they wanted to talk. So
80 people joined. It was crazy.
yeah, 80 people joined
Yeah,
like
big.
immediately. So
I've got one objective this week. I'm going to formally approach Marcellus Wiley about whether or not the dynasty is back on.
yeah. Good
Thank you,
idea.
Charles. That's
you.
the guy I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
We're going, we're going hunting on Twitter, guys.
There you go. Listen, bring a shotgun.
You said what?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man.
Bring the arsenal. So, but yeah, guys, with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed the show and enjoyed the game. It was the best game I've ever seen, hands down.
It was.
Agreed.
So,
Yep.
thank you guys for coming on again. We appreciate it. Anytime you guys
Thank
are
you
on.
guys.
Thank
It's
you
always
for
awesome.
having us.
Yeah,
No
man.
problem. You
Absolutely,
guys
it was awesome.
been help. I mean,
Yeah.
we wouldn't
guys
be
are
where
huge.
we're at right now without you guys too. So we appreciate the articles and the staff. We appreciate you guys.
Exactly, man. I mean, everybody, you guys have been doing so much, and appreciate everybody holding down the fort for an entire week. I don't do a whole lot up front, but I do some, and it's just been a rough week with this COVID. I hope nobody ever has to deal with it. So again, like that, I mean, that was horrid. So Brandon, do whatever take some immune shots, do whatever you got to do. Just
I'm already on the medicine, man.
There
But
you go,
the
brother.
win helps me feel better.
there you go, brother.
Injected
Yeah.
straight into my veins.
There he is, right
There
there.
you
So,
go.
Oh man.
There you
Yeah.
go.
but anyway, thanks for everybody. And again, you can follow us on Twitter. Follow us, Charles. Tell them where you can be followed at. I can't remember the last two of your numbers.
CRob5769.
Yep, Brandon.
CF statistics.
All right, and follow us on cheesefocus.com, Instagram, Facebook. Check out our podcast, Cheese Focus First and 10. We're everywhere. Actually, Caleb, I wanted to let you know I looked up today, and about 5% of our listeners now are in southern China. So we're getting some crazy listening.
Sweet.
listeners
That's
in different
crazy.
areas.
That's
So,
nice.
It's the
Awesome.
Kobe effect.
Yeah, we're in 35 countries. So
That's awesome. We're
That's
pulling through,
sweet.
man.
yeah. So it's catching on, and everybody really likes what we do, and we hope they do anyway. And let's just continue to move forward.
Yep.
Keep changing the game, boys.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, I hope everybody has a great Monday and enjoy the win, enjoy the week, and we will talk to you in the next few days.
Happy Victory
Cheers,
Monday,
Stephen.
everybody.
Peace out,
Let's
everybody.
get this, guys.
We got it.
Peace out.